Hello everyone. Welcome back. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper. I am a full-time reseller out of North Florida. I've been doing this full-time for about 3 years and part-time off and on since 1999. And I have a series of videos that I do that are research videos, which are not my sales, but they are items that have sold on eBay in the last 90 days. And that is what this is. So my intention for this video was to do napkins. However, when I put in napkins, it ended up giving me kind of a little mix of things, and I like it. So what this is going to be is it's centered around napkins, but it is napkin rings. It is just napkins. It is also tablecloth and napkin sets that sell for hundreds of dollars. And if you know me, you know I love vintage linens, and the prices that they can sell for are absolutely mind-blowing sometimes. And I think these that I'm going to show you are definitely going to do that. So if you're not checking the linen section, if you're not looking at the napkins, the tablecloths, the napkin rings, you better start. And I'm going to show you why right now. First up is a set of napkin rings. This is Animals at Play silver plate napkin rings, set of 8, collectible, Franklin Mint. It does say rare. $200 sale on these. And here you can see they're like, it looks like I see squirrels and deers. I almost would have probably put forest in that title. They're really, really cute. Let's see. There's the Animals at Play there. And there is the bottom. So if you found these not in the box, you would be able to identify them. And I feel like they would still bring a high price. It might just not be as much as this with the box, but it would still bring a good price. Next up is Vintage Damask Pure Irish Linen, tablecloth and 8 napkins, new old stock in the original box. So again, these new old stock original box is going to increase the value, but these items will still sell for a good amount. So I have found quite a bit of Irish linen, never a full set like this. This is a really beautiful set. And even though it's new, you can see there is some staining. And I do find that often with new old stock linens. So just make sure you show that in the photos. I would not wash them because they have those original stickers and everything. And here you can see quite a few pictures, which you do want to do if you're selling a $200 tablecloth. These are really neat. They have the original pamphlet with them as well. There's that Made in Ireland sticker. You can see the box isn't in the greatest condition, but they do have that original box, and this was an amazing sale at $199. Next up is Lenox Autumn 6 napkins and 6 placemats. These are also new. They sold for $210. And again, I find new old stock linens at estate sales quite often, so I know they are out there. Here you can see the pattern up close. These don't look to have any discoloring or stains, and this was a great sale. And they were new without tags and sold for $210. If you do not know, this is Vintage Cocktail Napkins, Risque, Naughty Pinup, Padded Assets, Madeira set of 6. These were an auction. It says 3 bids, but it was actually the same bidder, and they were started at the $220. And if you do not know, pinup and naughty stuff sells. So their boobies are sticking out there, as well as their butt too. The butt too. These are in excellent condition. It does say they are new. They do have that original sticker there. Made in Madeira pure linen. If you do not know, Madeira is money, definitely money. There is the back of them. And this one was an amazing sale at $220 for small napkins. Next up is an antique English silver napkin clip monogram set of 13. These sold for $225. It looks like it's random letters of the alphabet, which is interesting, and Mrs. Goodwin. So maybe it was children. I don't know. These are very random letters. I see A, B, B, E, G. I don't know. But even Monogrammed, these three, and they were English silver, but they sold for $225. So pay attention to both napkin clips as well as rings. Next is some Waterford Crystal Camera vintage napkin rings, set of 12, made in Ireland, $225 sale. There's a lot of Waterford stuff that is valuable. I have not seen Waterford napkin rings before. These are absolutely beautiful and a great sale at $225 for 12. So keep an eye out and we'll see if they show. Yep, there you go. That's what you want to look for, that Waterford etching there on the napkin ring, and really, really great sale. These are not new and still sold for $225. Next up are 12 Marghab cocktail napkins with Santa. These are very small napkins, and the 12 of them sold for $250. There is only one picture here. Marghab is another name like Madeira that you need to keep an eye out for, and amazing sale on cocktail napkins at $250. Next up is a vintage made in Czechoslovakia, pure linen tablecloth and 12 napkins. This one was an auction. It only got one bid though, so always start an auction at the lowest you're willing to take. These sold for $250, and here you can see they do have the original sticker on them. So these were another new one, pure linen, really, really beautiful pattern on this one. And here you can see they laid it out. It has a couple of staining spots on it, it looks like. And a lot of times, again, that does happen with storage. So I feel that the buyers are used to that happening, and a great sale at $250. Next up are some more vintage cocktail napkins, but these are Madeira. These are embroidered flowers on organdy, a set of 12 that sold for $275. And if I hadn't been selling linens so much, I would have really been caught off guard by this, but I'm not. So definitely watch for these organza style napkins. You can see there they are showing that full set of 12. Beautiful, delicate, and these can easily get messed up. These were very obviously well taken care of. They are not new. And here you can see just absolutely gorgeous set and wonderful sale at $275. Next up is really interesting, and this is something you can do if you buy a lot of linens from an estate sale. This is a lot of vintage lace, cross-stitch, crochet, embroidered doilies, tablecloths, napkins. They put cut work because people can cut these and use these for crafts or remake them into things. So this lot sold for $250. You can see beautiful pieces here. Absolutely gorgeous. And honestly, this is a lot you might have been able to buy and resell. I think there's probably some profit in here. So that's another thing. You can look for these lots of pieces like this and then sell them individually and make a profit. Next up is a Soledo French cotton tablecloth and 12 napkins. This is another new in the package that says Cabana. These sold for US $295.39. As you can see, the Soleado, there is the tablecloth. Really, really pretty design on this one. It's almost kind of like a paisley. This is a very, very big one. And it says it also has 12 napkins. So this is good to see that the name is on the tablecloth. And here, really, there are those napkins. Really, really pretty. Let's take a look here. There is the made in France. So this one would be very easy to identify even if it didn't have that box, and an amazing sale close to $300. Next up, I love this set. This is a rare vintage 50s black Wilendur dogwood tablecloth. New a tag, 4 napkins came with it. It was a 54-inch tablecloth. This was an auction that was started at only $25. There were 9 different bidders. It was a 7-day auction and it ended at $310. And I love the black background. That's something you don't see a ton. You can see it says the design is the dogwood. It is pre-laundered. All of the tags are still on it. And this was an amazing sale and a great jump from 25 up to 310. Next up is a set of 10 Constant Later Madeira cocktail napkins, pomegranate. These were new in the box. It says Marghab quality. That is keyword spamming and can get your listings taken down. So just be aware of that because they're using that Marghab name, even though they are not Marghab. So $325 sale. I love how bright pink that pink is on the pomegranate and the yellow. Absolutely gorgeous napkins and an amazing sale at $325. Next up is an antique vintage Madeira linen organdy hand applique banquet cloth and 12 napkins with the grapevine pattern. This one says it was pre-owned but never used, stored in climate controlled atmosphere. $325. Really great sale. This is a very big tablecloth. It is that banquet tablecloth. And you can see that organdy, very sheer and thin. Again, this stuff will get messed up very easy if it's not taken care of. So you can tell this one definitely was. There are the napkins, which are a little bit thicker than the tablecloth, and an excellent sale at $325. Next up is 8 vintage hand embroidered and applique placemat set napkins and a runner. This one caught me off guard and honestly made me wonder if I've undersold things because I've had stuff very similar to this. So these sold for $345, and here you can see the placemats, the napkins, and the runner. So it's a set, but not overly impressive. It's absolutely beautiful, but I would not have pegged this as for selling that much. The seller's name is Textile Magic though, so they definitely specialize in this and know a lot more than I do, even though I do sell quite a bit of linens. And this was an amazing sale at $345. Next up is a vintage Madeira embroidered linen placemats, napkins, and table runner. This was a total of 17 pieces, and it sold for $359.95. Beautiful design on this one. Not overly impressive, but look at that work. Amazing quality on these. There is that table runner and a great sale at $359. Next up is a vintage set of 8 Risque Naughty Pinup Madeira linen cocktail napkins. They sell, my friends. They sell, they sell, they sell. So this was an auction. It was a 10-day auction. It was started at $195. There were only 3 different bidders, but it went all the way up to $379. Here you can see those faces. And when you lift the faces, look, you get a surprise. These are very, very cute. A set of 8 in the original box and an amazing sale at almost $400. Next up are some vintage Fostoria American napkin rings and the holder. It's 2 original boxes, so it's a set of 8, and they sold for a best offer on $400. Beautiful Fostoria, and these are smaller. And they don't show on these if they are signed, but hopefully you would be able to identify them using Google Lens. Next up is some more napkin rings. These are vintage Mackenzie Child ceramic napkin rings, a set of 12. It does say garden party assorted print. They sold for $400. So these here on the bottom, they are marked, but that's really honestly hard to read. I'm not sure if in person they were as hard to read, but these you should be able to identify using Google Lens. And this is kind of a classic Mackenzie Child's look if you're familiar with their work, and an excellent sale at $400. This is our number 5 item. This is a vintage Nuatag Liddell Irish linen damask banquet tablecloth. The tablecloth 70 by 106 plus 12 napkins in the box. So it sold for a best offer on $499. And here you can see they are all new. They look to be in excellent condition. There is that box, which also looks like it is in great shape. It was originally $46.50. Has the original paper as well. So this one was very, very well kept. There is that damask. Beautiful tablecloth and an amazing sale. I do not know the offer they took, but their asking price was $499. Next up is a vintage de Porthault flax linen butterfly scalloped 8 placemats and 7 napkins. And these sold for $649. And I will tell you, if I saw these, I would have no clue. And now I would, but otherwise I wouldn't have known that they would be worth so much. And here we will take a look. Beautiful placemats, but again, not something I would have pegged for $649. Now, the made in France definitely would have made me look these up. You can see the de Porthault as well as 100% flax. Looks like there's a little spot on a couple of them. These are pre-owned. These are not new, and they still sold for $649. Next up is an antique heirloom linen needle lace runner with 12 placemats and napkins. These sold for $750. This is a beautiful, beautiful set. And here you can see one of the placemats. That almost looks like a fish. There are flowers, really, really pretty cut work on this. And you can see it looks like they are monogrammed. They are, which is pretty impressive that they still sold as high as they did. But a lot of these with the quality, people will still pay up even if they do have those monograms. Next is the number 2 selling, and that is a lot of 9 vintage napkin rings. They sold for a best offer on $999. $1,000 for 9 napkin rings, almost $100 a piece. There you can see, I saw like an angel or cherub. It's hard to tell. There's some doves. There's a lot going on. I'm not really sure. This is crazy. I would love to know who the maker of these are, because that's a crazy sale at close to $1,000. All right, our number 1 selling is this vintage tablecloth. It is a Madeira. It is embroidered marlin sport fisherman with 12 napkins, rare, an $1,100 sale. Really neat tablecloth. Again, most of these that I've shown you tonight are not ones that I would have pegged for being so valuable. I would have picked them up, but I wouldn't have known. Look at how cool you can see the fisherman there. This is a really neat tablecloth. This would be amazing in a beach house. Absolutely. But I don't think unless it was my beach house and I was not renting it out, I would not put an $1,100 tablecloth on its table, especially with a white background. This is just absolutely one of the coolest tablecloths I've ever seen. And if you know me, you know I love the water. I love ocean. I love fishing. So this kind of fits right in, but I cannot afford an $1,100 tablecloth. But I absolutely love it. And it was an amazing sale at $1,100. All right, that was everything. I hope you have enjoyed. I was very caught off guard by a lot of those that I showed you. Not caught off guard that they sold, but just some of those prices were way more than I would have imagined they would have sold for. Let me know your favorite. Mine was the highest priced, and not because it was the highest price, just because it kind of fits me and my personality the best. So let me know your favorite. Share with your friends if you think they would like it. On Sunday, we will be doing a video on some high dollar pottery, so that will be exciting. I really do appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.